A cry across the stars, Captain Maria Santos floated in the observation deck of the research vessel Horizon Walker, watching the stars drift past through the reinforced windows. The ship moved silently through the void between solar systems. Its mission focused on studying cosmic phenomena rather than warfare. Maria had been commanding research missions for 8 years, and she preferred the quiet work of exploration to the chaos of military operations. The Horizon. Walker carried a crew of 43 scientists, engineers, and support staff. They were 3 days into a routine survey mission in the Outer Rim territories when everything changed. Maria was reviewing stellar formation data when Lieutenant Commander James Park rushed onto the bridge with an expression of deep concern. "Captain, we're picking up something unusual on the long-range communications array," James reported. His voice carried the tension of someone who had discovered something significant. "It's not coming from any human colony or trade route. The signal is heavily encrypted, but our computers are working on breaking it down." Maria followed James to the communications station where Dr. Elena Vasquez, their xenobiologist, was already working frantically with the equipment. Elena had spent most of her career studying alien languages and communication patterns. Her expertise had helped establish first contact protocols with several species over the past decade. "What do we have, Elena?" Maria asked, studying the patterns dancing across the screen. Elena looked up with worried eyes. "Captain, this is definitely alien in origin, but it's not like anything we've encountered before. The mathematical structure suggests extreme urgency. If I had to guess, I'd say this is a distress signal of some kind." The bridge crew gathered around the communications console as Elena continued her work. The Horizon Walker had encountered alien signals before, but they were usually routine trade communications or navigation beacons. This signal felt different. It pulsed with desperate energy that even the humans could sense through the electronic. Static dot after 2 hours of intense work, Elena finally broke through the encryption. What they heard sent chills through every person on the bridge. The voice that emerged from the speakers was melodious and gentle, but filled with terror that transcended species barriers. "This is Ambassador Thises of the Zelani Republic broadcasting on all emergency frequencies. Our worlds are under attack by the Kravik Empire. They have already destroyed 3 of our colonies and are advancing toward our homeworld. Millions of our people have died. We are a peaceful species with no military forces capable of stopping this invasion. We desperately need help from any civilization that receives this message. Our children are dying. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need help." The message repeated several times before dissolving into static. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. The crew of the Horizon Walker exchanged glances, each person processing what they had just heard. Maria felt her stomach tighten with anger and determination. "Elena, what do you know about the Zelani?" Maria asked. Elena consulted her xenobio quickly. "The Zelani are a peaceful herbivorous species from the Endara sector. They're known for their advanced medical technology and artistic achievements. Their society has no concept of warfare. They've been trading partners with several human colonies for about 15 years. They're good people, Captain." James pulled up star charts on his console. The Endara sector is approximately 6 days away at maximum hyperspace speed. "But, Captain, we're a research vessel. We don't have the firepower to take on a military empire." Maria stared at the star chart, her mind racing through possibilities. The Horizon Walker was indeed a research ship, but it carried full communication equipment capable of reaching Earth Command. She had served in the Earth Defense Forces before transferring to research missions, and she knew the protocols for emergency situations. "James, get me a priority channel to Earth Command. Emergency frequency, full encryption." "Elena, I want you to translate that message into standard human diplomatic language. Include everything about the Zelani species and their situation." Within an hour, Maria found herself speaking directly with Admiral Jackson Hayes, the commanding officer of Earth's Defense Forces. Hayes appeared on the main screen as a tall man with gray hair and intense blue eyes that reflected decades of military experience. Behind him, the command center of Earth's primary military installation buzzed with activity. Captain Santos, we've received your transmission and the alien distress call, Admiral Hayes said without preamble. Tell me your assessment of the situation. Maria straightened in her captain's chair. Admiral, the Zolani are facing complete extinction. Based on their message, they have no military capability whatsoever. This Kravic Empire appears to be conducting systematic genocide. The Zolani have been peaceful trading partners with human colonies for years. They've shared medical technology that has saved thousands of human lives. Admiral Hayes nodded slowly. I'm familiar with the Zolani. They've been valuable allies in developing treatments for several diseases that affect human colonists. What's your recommendation, Captain? Sir, I recommend immediate military intervention. The Zolani are facing annihilation, and they've specifically requested help from any civilization capable of providing it. This seems like exactly the kind of situation our defense forces were created to handle. The Admiral was quiet for several moments, consulting with staff members off-screen. When he returned his attention to Maria, his expression had hardened with resolve. Captain Santos, I'm authorizing full military deployment to the Endara sector. The Second Fleet is already being mobilized. You're to proceed immediately to Zolani space and begin reconnaissance operations. Admiral Chen will arrive with the main battle group within 72 hours. Maria felt a surge of pride and determination. Understood, Admiral. What are our rules of engagement? Admiral Hayes' voice became cold and precise. The Kravic Empire has committed acts of genocide against our allies. All necessary force is authorized to protect Zolani civilians and drive the invaders from their territory. Captain, the galaxy is about to learn something important about humanity. For decades, we've maintained a peaceful image as traders and explorers. That image has served us well in establishing diplomatic relationships. He paused, and Maria could see the weight of command in his eyes. But when our friends are threatened, when innocent beings face extinction, the galaxy will discover what humans are really capable of. Earth isn't just another garden world with soft, weak inhabitants. Earth is a death world that forged apex predators. We've simply chosen to use our predatory instincts to protect others rather than exploit them. The transmission ended, and Maria turned to address her crew. Every person on the bridge was watching her with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. They were scientists and researchers, not soldiers, but they understood the significance of what was happening. All hands, this is the captain, Maria announced over the ship's communication system. We've just received orders to proceed to the Endara sector to assist the Zolani Republic against hostile invaders. I know we're not a military vessel, but we have an opportunity to help save an entire species from extinction. All departments prepare for immediate departure. We're going to show the galaxy what humans do when our friends are in danger. The Horizon Walker changed course and accelerated toward the Endara sector at maximum speed. Behind them, across human space, the largest military mobilization in 50 years was beginning. Admiral Hayes had activated protocols that had been prepared but never used. Every human colony, every defense installation, every military commander received the same message. Humanity's allies were under attack. And Earth was responding with overwhelming force. In the shipyards orbiting Mars, the battleship Thunderstrike was loaded with enough firepower to reduce a small moon to space dust. Captain Rebecca Stone, a veteran of the colonial wars, reviewed her crew assignments with grim satisfaction. The Thunderstrike had been designed specifically for situations like this, but the galaxy had never seen it in action. Asterisk. On the military station circling Jupiter, Colonel Marcus Johnson briefed his Marine battalions on urban combat operations. These were soldiers trained to fight in conditions that would kill most alien species. They had practiced boarding actions in zero gravity, ground combat in toxic atmospheres, and survival in environments where the temperature could freeze or boil alien blood throughout human space. The true nature of Earth's civilization was revealing itself. The peaceful traders and curious explorers were pulling back their masks to reveal the apex predators underneath. Humans had evolved on a world where everything was trying to kill them. They had survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, plague, famine, and countless wars against each other. They had learned to hunt in packs, to endure conditions that would break other species, and to fight with a level of coordination that seemed impossible to outsiders. The galaxy knew humans as polite diplomats who needed special equipment to survive. On most worlds, they were about to discover that humans needed special equipment because most alien worlds were too easy for them. The light gravity and thin atmospheres that other species found challenging were like vacation conditions for beings who had evolved under Earth-crushing gravity and dense atmosphere. As the Horizon Walker raced through hyperspace toward the desperate Zolani, Captain Maria Santos felt a familiar surge of predatory focus that her ancestors had used to hunt across the African savanna. The Kravic Empire had made a terrible mistake. They had threatened humanity's friends, and now they were about to face the consequences of awakening Earth's apex predators. Asterisk. When predators hunt, the Horizon Walker dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Zolani system to find a scene of devastating destruction. Captain Maria Santos stood on the bridge, staring at the tactical display with growing anger. 3 Zolani colonies showed as dead zones on the scanner, their once thriving settlements reduced to cooling rubble. The beautiful blue-green world of Zolani Prime was surrounded by a fleet of dark, angular ships that radiated menace even from a distance. Captain, I'm reading approximately 200 enemy vessels, reported Lieutenant Commander James Park. They're maintaining blockade positions around the planet. Energy signatures suggest they're bombarding civilian population centers. Dr. Elena Vasquez worked frantically at her communication station, trying to establish contact with any surviving Zolani officials. After several minutes, she succeeded in reaching a weak signal from deep underground on Zolani Prime. "This is Ambassador Thice's," came the familiar melodious voice, now strained with exhaustion and fear. "Human vessel, is that really you?" "We had given up hope that anyone would come." Maria leaned toward the microphone. "Ambassador Thice's, this is Captain Maria Santos of the Earth research vessel, Horizon Walker. We received your distress call and came as quickly as possible. What's your current situation?" "Captain Santos, the Kravic forces have been bombarding our cities for 6 days. Millions of our people are dead or dying. We've retreated to underground shelters, but the Kravic are using ground-penetrating weapons to hunt us down. They seem to take pleasure in our suffering." Through the static, they could hear explosions and the sounds of terrified Zolani civilians. Maria felt her predatory instincts surge. This wasn't warfare. It was systematic slaughter of innocents. Everything human civilization had built was founded on the principle of protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. "Ambassador, help is coming. Earth's second fleet will arrive within 18 hours. Can you hold out that long?" "We will try, Captain. But please understand, we are not warriors. We have no weapons, no military training. We can only hide and hope." The transmission was cut off by a massive explosion. Maria turned to her crew with cold determination. "James, launch all our survey drones. I want detailed intelligence on enemy positions and capabilities. Elena, see if you can establish communication with the Kravic fleet. It's time they learned they're dealing with humans now." The survey drones spread throughout the system, their advanced sensors recording everything about the Kravic forces. What they found confirmed Maria's worst fears. The Kravic ships were systematically destroying every trace of Zolani civilization. They weren't just conquering territory. They were committing genocide. Elena managed to open a communication channel to the Kravic flagship. The being that appeared on screen was unlike anything the humans had encountered before. War Chief Paxel stood nearly 9 feet tall with thick, armored hide and predatory features that spoke of evolution on a harsh world. His forearms ended in razor-sharp claws, and his yellow eyes burned with malicious intelligence. So, the humans finally show themselves. Doxel snarled in heavily accented galactic standard. We have heard of your species. Weak creatures who need special suits to breathe normal air. You travel in slow, clumsy ships and call yourselves explorers and traders. What do you want here, soft flesh? Maria stepped forward, allowing the alien to see her clearly. War Chief Doxel, I am Captain Maria Santos of the Earth Defense Forces. You are conducting unprovoked attacks against the Zilani Republic, who are allies of humanity. I'm ordering you to cease all hostile actions and withdraw from this system. Immediately. Doxel's laugh was a harsh sound that resembled grinding metal. You order me? You command nothing here, human. Your pathetic species is known throughout this sector as harmless traders who flee at the first sign of conflict. We have conquered 12 systems and enslaved 47 species. The Zilani will join our empire as slave labor, and you will retreat to whatever hole you crawled from. War Chief, you're making a serious mistake. This is your final warning. Withdraw your forces now, or face the consequences. Consequences? Doxel roared. From humans? You amuse me, Softflesh. Perhaps we will add your species to our collection. As well, your research vessel will make an excellent prize. The communication ended abruptly as Kravik's ships began moving toward the Horizon Walker. Maria watched the approaching vessels with the calm focus of a predator evaluating prey. The Kravik had no idea what they were dealing with. All hands battle stations, Maria announced. James, activate all defensive systems. Elena, send a coded message to Admiral Chen. Tell him we're engaged with hostile forces and request immediate assistance. The first Kravik attack came in the form of energy beams designed to disable rather than destroy. They expected the human ship to surrender quickly, as their intelligence reports suggested humans were cowardly and weak. Instead, the Horizon Walker absorbed the hits with its reinforced hull and continued operating at full capacity. Captain, their weapons are more powerful than expected, but our armor is holding, James reported. Shall I return fire? Negative. We're not a warship, and we're outnumbered 200 to 1, but we can show them what human engineering is really capable of. The Horizon Walker had been built using principles developed over centuries of human warfare. Every critical system had backups. Every backup had backups. And the entire ship was designed to keep fighting even with massive damage. As the Kravik increased their attack intensity, the human ship demonstrated something the aliens had never encountered. The ability to absorb punishment that would destroy any other vessel and continue operating. For 6 hours, the Horizon Walker played a deadly game of cat and mouse with the Kravik fleet. Maria used every trick she had learned in her military career, combined with the ship's advanced sensors and maneuverability systems. The research vessel wasn't built for combat, but it had been built by humans, and that made all the difference. Captain, I'm detecting massive hyperspace distortions at the edge of the system, James announced with barely contained excitement. Admiral Chen's fleet is arriving. The space around Zilani Prime suddenly filled with human warships as the second fleet dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation. Admiral Chen's flagship, the battleship Retribution, led a force of 60 vessels, including battle cruisers, destroyers, and support craft. But it wasn't just the number of ships that shocked the Kravik forces. It was their appearance. Every human ship looked like it had been built to fight in hell itself. Thick armor plating, covered weapon systems that could reduce planets to molten slag. These weren't the sleek, elegant vessels favored by most alien species. These were warships built by apex predators who expected everything to go wrong and had prepared accordingly. Asterisk. Admiral Chen's voice filled the communication channels with cold authority. Kravik forces, this is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Forces. You are guilty of genocide against our allies. Surrender immediately or face the full might of humanities. Military. War Chief Saxel's response came as a massed attack by his entire fleet. 200 Kravik ships opened fire simultaneously, unleashing enough destructive power to sterilize a planet. The Kravik had never lost a battle, and they weren't about to start now. What happened next would be remembered throughout the galaxy for generations. The human ships didn't dodge or attempt to avoid the incoming fire. Instead, they absorbed the massive attack with their layered armor and defensive systems, then began their own coordinated response. Human military doctrine was based on pack hunting tactics, refined over millions of years of evolution. Each ship knew exactly where every other human vessel was positioned. They shared targeting data instantly, and moved with coordination that seemed impossible for individual units. Colonel Sarah Mitchell led the first wave of marine assault shuttles toward the Kravik fleet. Her soldiers were encased in powered armor that made them look like walking tanks. Inside each suit, human warriors carried enough firepower to level city blocks and enough life support to survive in the vacuum of space. Gold Team, we're going for the command ship, Sarah announced over the tactical network. Silver Team, take the weapons platforms. Bronze Team, you're with me on the boarding action. The Kravik had never faced boarding actions before. Their military doctrine was based on ship-to-ship combat and planetary bombardment. The idea of enemy soldiers actually entering their vessels and fighting hand-to-hand was beyond their experience. Captain Alex Chen led Phoenix Squadron in a coordinated fighter attack that demonstrated human pack tactics at their finest. 24. Human pilots moved through space like a school of fish, each one covering the others while they hunted larger prey. Kravik fighters were faster and more maneuverable as individual units, but they had never faced an enemy that fought as a single coordinated organism. Phoenix leader, we have enemy fighters at 2 o'clock, reported Lieutenant Jennifer Walsh. I see them, Phoenix 7. Phoenix Squadron, Diamond Formation. Let's show them how humans hunt. The human fighters moved with precision that shocked. The Kravik pilots. Each pilot knew exactly where their wingmates were at all times. They shared ammunition, covered each other's escape routes, and coordinated attacks that trapped enemy fighters in crossfire situations. The turning point came when Colonel Mitchell's Marines successfully boarded the Kravik flagship. The aliens had designed their ships for space combat, not for fighting in narrow corridors against enemies who moved like ghosts through the darkness. Human soldiers flowed through the enemy ship like water finding the path of least resistance. They used breaching charges to open new routes, bypass alien defensive positions, and coordinate attacks from multiple directions simultaneously. The Kravik warriors were brave and fierce, but they fought as individuals while the humans fought as a pack. War Chief Thaxol found himself trapped in his own command center, as human marines systematically captured his ship. He watched in horror as his tactical displays showed Kravik vessels being disabled or destroyed throughout the system. The humans weren't just winning. They were demonstrating a level of military coordination that seemed impossible. How? Thaxol demanded as Colonel Mitchell entered the command center with her assault team. Your intelligence reports said humans were weak traders from a garden world. How do you fight like this? Sarah Mitchell removed her helmet, revealing a face marked by years of combat experience. War Chief, you made a fatal error in judgment. Humans aren't from a garden world. We evolved on a death world that tried to kill us every single day for millions of years. We learned to hunt in packs, to endure conditions that would kill most species, and to never, ever give up when we're protecting something important. She stepped closer to the alien commander. The Zilani are our friends. You threatened our friends, and now you're facing the consequences. Humanity has spent 50 years presenting ourselves as peaceful traders because we prefer cooperation to conflict. But when innocent beings face extinction, we become what we've always been, apex. Predators from the most dangerous world in known space. The battle ended with complete human victory. The surviving Kravik ships retreated in terror, carrying news that would spread throughout their empire. They had encountered humanity's true nature, and they wanted no part of it. On Zelani Prime, Human rescue teams worked around the clock to save civilian populations and rebuild critical infrastructure. Ambassador Theses stood in the ruins of his capital city, watching human marines distribute medical supplies and food to Zelani survivors. Captain Santos, Ambassador Theses said, his melodious voice filled with gratitude. We can never repay what humanity has done for us. You risked everything to save a species you barely knew. Maria placed a gentle hand on the alien diplomat's shoulder. Ambassador, that's what friends do for each other. The galaxy is big enough for everyone to live in peace, but sometimes peace has to be protected by those strong enough to fight for it. As human ships began the long journey home, news of the battle spread throughout galactic civilization. Species that had dismissed humanity as irrelevant suddenly wanted to establish diplomatic relations. Others, who had been considering aggression against human colonies, quietly abandoned their plans. The galaxy had learned a new truth about the quiet species from the third planet of an unremarkable yellow star. When backup was requested, Earth didn't send negotiators or peacekeepers. Earth sent apex predators who had learned to hunt together for the protection of those who couldn't protect themselves. Asterisk.